So Bovada released odds on the next school to accept an invitation from the SEC, and then also odds for the next school to accept an invitation from the Big Ten.
Oh, boy.
So we have a list here, and we'll go through it.
We got a little music. Ooh.
I decided to go back.
Looking live. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, I love this music. It kind of goes back because college football is changing anyway. This takes me back to the days the great days of Miami and Florida State.
Is this ABC late 90s?
Yeah, 1999 to 2005.
This is
ABC
like number one UCLA playing number 8 Miami, the Terry Donahue era.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead.
So let's start with the next school to accept an invitation from the SEC, okay?
Ooh.
Let's start at the bottom of the odds. Plus 750 Cincinnati.
There's a 0.0% chance of that.
Plus 600 Oklahoma State.
Okay, that one I find interesting. Now remember something. There was a time where we were told there's no way the legislature would allow Oklahoma and Oklahoma State to be split up. Cutscene. They are. I think Okie State has a lot of problems. And look, I'd love to see the Big Ten scoop them up. If geography means nothing, I'd pick them up. But I also, look, Pistol Pete creeps me out, and I don't like plastic mascots. So maybe you don't pick them up. But, David, they would seem like a bit of a throw-in for the SEC, wouldn't they?
You would think so.
The SEC going east and getting the ACC teams is more on brand. Go ahead.
So next on the list would be Baylor at plus 500.
So Baylor more cachet than the Hokey Pokeys.
Correct.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
We've sat here and talked about Big Ten expansion for a while. And we think we know where they're headed. Why no Texas for the Big Ten? Go to Baylor, go to TCU, go to Okie State. Like, why is that not a conversation?
You know, I thought about that when it comes to Baylor especially. I don't really want TCU, but
Why?
Baylor to me seems like a school that I would want.
Why would you not want TCU?
I just don't
want
the Horned Frog.
Dude, have you seen the one where the frog's eyes are orange on the helmet? Come on, man.
I'm good with TCU.
And they got like a little train that's shaped like a frog. That's swag.
I'm okay. We got enough purple with Northwestern. I'm okay with that.
Next.
Let's go next on the list. Same odds as Baylor. Louisville at plus 500.
All right, look. Louisville is a very difficult program to figure out because they used to have big corporate dollars behind them with Papa John, and then Papa John launched himself out of a cannon. But you know what's interesting? They got a lot of NIL going on. Someone is spending money because they're recruiting like crazy. I actually think that makes more sense than the Oklahoma State stuff. Kentucky and Louisville, it's a school that's capable of doing some stuff. The stadium's nice. I actually don't hate that one. But see, I'm a sucker for the geography. I like two teams in Kentucky. Right.
Yeah. They can begin to have something with Kentucky, can maybe get something with Tennessee. I don't know.
There is nothing worse than walking by Papa John's Stadium in Louisville, leaving the Kentucky Derby, your feet hurt, your deodorant's no longer functioning, the buzz is wearing off from the Derby, and all you want to do is crawl into a hole, but you're still only halfway to the Uber zone. Cool story, bro. Go ahead.
And then I think this is
not that I've ever experienced that.
I think this is where it starts getting fun for the invitation list here. Miami at plus 325.
It just seems too perfect to pick Miami and Florida State and put them with Florida, put them in there. To me, that would be target number 2 behind Clemson.
And that's where we ended here with this one invitation here because you have Florida State and Clemson tied at plus 250.
Yeah.
All makes sense.
I think the SEC's answer to the Big Ten could be complicated because of the ACC Bill of Rights, but I'm getting Clemson, Florida State, Miami, and then I'm pausing. And I'm going to put the ball in the Big Ten's court and see what they want to do. But those 3 schools, there's no way the Big Ten's adding them. They're geographically appropriate, and they're all brand names. It's the easy. I think the SEC has the easier moves.
Well, let's move over to the Big Ten. Next school to accept an invitation Let's start last again. Syracuse plus 2,500.
There's a less than 0% chance. It's a dead football program that plays in an inflated condom of a stadium. I'm out.
And then there's a group here at plus 2,000. I'm going to place them all together here. We can talk about them.
God.
California, Stanford, Oklahoma State, Duke, and North Carolina.
I think a couple make sense. And this, again, I'm under a presumption here that Stanford and Cal will not be split. The Big Ten, I believe, will add Stanford and will add Oregon. But, if we're not splitting up the traditional rivals, you have to take Cal. Would I? No. I think the North Carolina one, while interesting, it makes no sense to me. I think, what was the other? Duke makes no sense.
Duke in North Carolina.
I don't want either one. I would take Oklahoma State, and I would take Stanford.
And then next on the list at plus 1,800 would be Arizona.
No interest. None.
I thought they would be last in the odds.
That's a dead football program.
Yeah.
I think both Arizona schools, the dead in the water. Herm's going to get Arizona State put on a death penalty the way he's running that thing. I'm out on both. I don't need either of them.
And then next on the list, when you talk about geography-wise, it makes sense. But I don't know program-wise. Plus 1,500 for Cincinnati.
I'd be indifferent to it. But then again, you add the ability to play games at historic Nippert Stadium. I don't know, man. I don't mind Cincy the way others do, but then people speak about it like it's a junior college and you could keep a dead plant eligible
And
there.
I think I know why they speak of it that way, because that's how it's treated in the state of Ohio. Ohio State is king. Cincinnati is treated like it is a community college.
Well, and then Xavier's the rich kid private school.
Correct.
So, yeah, I get it. I've never minded Cincinnati. And frankly, Cincinnati with Fickle, they're better than Indiana. They're better than Illinois. They're better than Purdue. They're better than Maryland. They're better than Rutgers. They're better than a lot of teams in the Big Ten, so you're adding quality. But then again, you're not adding a TV market, so Rico would yell about that. All right, I'm out on Cincy.
Yeah, we'll get to the quality in a second, but one more. And I like this one for basketball purposes, not football. Plus 1,400 for Kansas.
No. I am doing nothing if it doesn't build my football portfolio.
Exactly.
No, I am not interested in Duke or Kansas. No.
And then the nitty-gritty here, you have Washington at plus 600, Oregon and Notre Dame plus 150.
All right. If you're asking me to bet on one of these based on value, what was Stanford?
Stanford for the Big Ten is at plus 2,000.
To me, that's the move. The Big Ten is obsessed with academics.
Yep.
It's the San Francisco market. It is a brand name, Blue Magic. I'm adding Stanford. I think Oregon, Washington, Stanford, Cal. Those are the four. You take Cal as kind of your appetizer. Notre Dame has to happen. But the Stanford one at plus 2,000, David, boy, that's just some good value. And this is Bovada?
That is Bovada. They have released these odds here. Yeah, I think it I am surprised that Stanford was plus 2,000, because to me I thought it was a given that they're joining the Big Ten. But we'll see. And those are your Bovada odds for teams joining college football's new conferences.